Welcome men's physique fans across the world, and of course, welcome our fans, the Horde. Today, I have the best host known in the universe. You can travel to any galaxy you want, but in this universe and others alike, my two friends, my two hosts are the best, the creme de la creme. We've got the man who has literally walked into a koala gym and showed everybody up. All the bears were like, what the hell are you doing, bro? You're so fucking muscular over here. Our boy, the Australian voice of men's physique, A-Bomb, Philip Naselli, give it up. And if you listen close, you can hear it. Boom, boom, the heartbeat of men's physique. None other than the man himself, the one who put the current champion on the road to riches and chips. Your man, Hart McGrath. Let's go. And yes, Alim Bolton, IFBB Pro Masters, in the house, the gaffer. Let's get into it, man. We got a lot of stuff to talk about with the Arnold Classic. Give it away. Take it away, Hart.
It's going to be a big show.
Whew, Phil, you ain't lying, brother. The Arnold Classic, ladies and gentlemen, the Horde. The Horde. Man, I love that name. I love that name. If our audience isn't the Horde, I don't know what is. Guys, we're 8 weeks out of the Arnold Classic, Ohio, the second biggest bodybuilding show in the world. If you haven't heard through the grapevine, the Men's Physique Show, we're going to be there. We're going to be there interviewing athletes, showing some love, handing out merch. We're going to be in the building. If you see us, please grab us. Please say hi. Let's connect. Let's talk. Let's take photos. Today, we're going to talk about a bunch of awesome physiques that are going to be attending the Arnold Classic. We got some dope updates from a lot of guys 8 weeks out, including the Mr. Olympia himself. We're also going to sprinkle in maybe a little drama. Maybe the first time the Men's Physique Show is going to dip our fingers into some drama. So we'll see how that plays out. Regardless, we're super grateful for all of you to be here. The numbers have been insane on these off the stage YouTube videos that we've been putting out. This will be our 5th or 6th one, and the love is crazy. So thank you so much for that. Phil, how's my boy feeling?
I'm feeling good, man. I'm feeling super excited, man. Like you said, this is going to be a massive episode. The fans are loving us. Da Horde. Let's make sure that we emphasize the da part, because you boys, you girls, you fans that they're now called just as I said it, right? Da Horde. And if you're new to the channel, make sure to smash that subscribe button. We want Da Horde to continue to grow. We're on the road to 10K. We're almost there. We're aiming to get that job done in the next couple of weeks, next couple of months, but we need your help to do so. So if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel and make sure to hit the bell notification tab so that you're notified every single time a new episode goes live. And if you're on Spotify, because we know a lot of you guys love to hear the audio rather than watch the videos instead, follow us on Spotify, the Men's Physique Show, and you'll be able to hear every episode that we drop moving forward.
Let's go. Gaffa, how you feeling?
I'm feeling phenomenal, man. First, I'd like to give a shout out to Leon McCall. He's the one who introduced the Horde to us originally.
Hey, okay.
I want to give a shout out to Leon McCall. I've graced the stage with him, interestingly enough, and didn't even know that he was a fan of the show and that had came from him. So shout out to him. But bro, when I tell you, I'm just feeling so excited. So much activity going on, even in this down season of men's physique, and just the athletes giving us updates, talking with us, the fans reaching out to us. It's been phenomenal. So I can't wait to get into the show. Let's do this.
Awesome. Beautiful. Well, let's do this thing. Enough talking. You guys know what I'm pulling up. It is Monday, January 12th. I'm going to share my damn screen, turn on the audio, because we got some fun stuff to play for today's episode. The Horde, here it is. And I hope you're getting more and more familiar with these athletes. We just got done interviewing Vitor Chavez. We got Emanual Hunter on the near future that we're going to interview. We got our boy Tron Quang. We'll get Ben Quill in here. We got Gustav. Just got off the phone with Alessandro Cavagnola. B. Henny's already on the list. We're going to lock down Andre Dayu. Edvon Palmera is dropping soon. If you're not subscribed, like Phil said, now's the time to do it. We have 8 weeks. 8 weeks, guys. Imagine how each one of these guys is feeling 8 weeks out of the Arnold Classic. I'll tell you right now, after speaking to half of these guys, I know Alim and Phil would agree with me. every single one of these guys that are on the roster thinks they can win the Arnold Classic. And that is just so cool. I don't think any of these guys are afraid of no smoke. But what I want to do is I kind of want to go back in time. If you were even born during this time, Phil, me and you, I feel like we're just barely coming out of the womb. Alim, you were killing it. Dog.
Married at this time, right?
Yeah. You're doing great. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to throw it to Sadiq Hadzovic in 2015. This is your Arnold Classic 2015 champion. Sadiq Hadzovic won this show, and I bring up Sadiq because this guy, his physique and his mentality has truly stood the test of time. Whenever he posts a picture or video recently, this guy looks absolutely crazy. I feel like every time we see him, his physique gets better and better. This was the 2015 posing routine of the Arnold Classic champion himself, Sadiq Hadzovic. I'll throw it off to Avon first. What's the biggest difference that you see in 2026 with the men's physique guys compared to 2013 or 2015 with Sadiq, Phil?
There's no denying the evolution of the sport has grown massively. The bodies have grown massively. Don't get me wrong, a guy like Sadiq was one of the first athletes that I ever saw on that men's physique stage. We saw Jeremy Buendia, we saw Sadiq, we saw a lot of great athletes, but the evolution of the sport has just grown. And I feel like it's because of athletes like Sadiq, like Jeremy, who paved the way for all up-and-coming athletes, all recent champions, the work. So, yeah, it was one of my idols growing up, that's for sure. I remember buying the GAT pre-workout because of Sadiq. But, yeah, I just didn't look the same at the end of it. That's the difference.
Gaffa, what do you think?
Bro, you can see, like, first of all, this is not, this physique nowadays, and it won the Arnold, is not even getting the invite nowadays, because the difference is back then there was more of a model like physique going on back then, and now just the athletes have just become a lot more muscular, a lot rounder, a lot more bubbly, and much thicker backs and so forth. But man, his posing has always been great. He's such a juggernaut and ambassador for men's physique all throughout his long, illustrious career. And now I think he's going into Classic. Is that right, Hart? You heard about that?
Yeah, Phil, I think you have a recent update on that. What's going on with that?
Yeah, so I was going through Sadiq's stories as of, I think it was like 15 minutes ago. This is how recent our news is, guys. We're the first on the scene. But Sadiq was answering a couple of questions that a few fans sent to him. And the question was, are we going to see you back on stage? And are we going to see you on that Classic physique stage? And his two-word answer was, it's true. Now, Sadiq has jumped from men's physique to Classic, back to men's physique, back to Classic physique. So this guy has been an icon for bodybuilding as a whole. So to see this guy back on stage, he's going to have to grow again because he obviously needed to downsize for the men's physique and then has to grow again for Classic, downsize for men's physique and then grow again. But yeah, if there's one person that's able to do it, it's definitely Sadiq.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. I remember when he posted this literally a month ago, December 11th. And this is crazy. This is just, does this not scream consistency all over his life? 10-year difference. And the only change is it isn't the bathroom. It's literally the shorts and looks like another 30, 45 pounds of muscle, he says. Sadiq, man, he's a pioneer. When I think of men's physique, I also think of Sadiq. And I also think Sadiq is one of the most successful guys in both of the divisions. He's been runner-up at the Mr. Olympia. I believe he's been top 7 at the Classic Physique Mr. Olympia. He's came back to men's physique and won a pro show later down the road. And now he's going back to Classic Physique, as we just saw in his story. Not only that, as we know, the Gaffa, I want you to just touch on his training a little bit. This guy trains hard. What do you think about his training?
Bro, he works out at Bev's gym a lot, which means, Steve is right there. He gets nothing but the best advice, and has the best athletes going there, which probably motivates him. But he lifts heavy, but he lifts smart. Sadiq is one of those guys, you don't really see him injured throughout his career a lot. Like very few times have you seen Sadiq get injured. He really has a great understanding of diet, gear, and training, and just the combination, that holistic whole ecosystem and how it has to go specifically for his frame and for others. You hear him talking with other athletes, putting them on so he gives back all the time. I've seen people on some of his posts that he never even met before. Young guys, amateurs in the gym wanting to either go heavy or just get advice. The dude stops for all of them and, just gives them a wealth of information and then keeps it moving. So great ambassador, great human being. He's evolved with the times. His technique is typically always flawless in the gym because he's been doing it so long. And what a great dad, too. I mean, you see him with his kid. You see him with his family a lot, talks about his family a lot. I really like this dude, man. I've always have. And, can't whatever he gets into, he's going to be successful because he's already been successful. He knows what it tastes like.
Whew, that is some awesome news. Your 2015 Arnold Classic champion, Phil found it in the story a few minutes ago. He says it's true. He will be competing in Classic Physique again. It would be so cool to see it in 2026. Again, one of the pioneers in the first guy who really became successful in both divisions. And then we had a few guys follow after. Matt Grago, Logan Franklin has done something similar, but Sadiq was really the pioneer to do that. Shout out to Sadiq Hadzovic, another guy I think we should get on the show for an interview if the Horde would love to see it. But let's jump into some recent physiques, man. This guy right here, if you don't know who this is, I'm telling you, you live under a rock and you're not subscribed. I'm telling you, you need to hit the bell so you get alerted for this stuff. We're going to talk about Ben Quill. Last year in 2024 at the Mr. Olympia, he was top 10. In fact, he was 9th in the world. I know this year at the Mr. Olympia in 2025, he didn't get the placing he wanted. He dropped back to few placings, but Gaffa, I'm going to throw it up to you. Latest training update. We may get a little peek of his physique at the end. It's kind of on the cover photo. Ben Quill Marigny, multi-time Olympian. This is a guy in 2025, late 2025. We saw go against Jeremy Buendia, and it was a very, very close race for that title. I think it was over in Seattle, Washington. Let me ask you, Gaffa, is Ben Quill an Olympian that can win the 2026 Arnold Classic Ohio?
He is a sleeper, bro. Because, and I say that, I remember a few years ago, I was at the Olympia and I jumped in a cab with Ben Quill and he and an Uber, and he and I went to the O together and we were chopping it up. And I really got an opportunity to understand where his mindset was. It was just he and I, and we were vibing out. And he's a great, great guy. Great coach also, by the way. Coaches not only men's physique, but classic guys, bikini, wellness. He's a great, great coach. A lot of his athletes, brag about him and talk about how alert, how astute, and how caring he is and empathetic. Just a wealth of information. But one of the things that I noticed about Ben Quill this past year is how much size he's put on. He's put on a lot of size in his chest, and he's put on a lot of density in his back. Bro, this picture here, even at the Olympia, doesn't even do him justice where he's at today. His chest has come up tremendously. I don't know what he's taking and what he's doing, but whatever he's doing, obviously it's a combination of diet, gear, rest, recovery, everything holistically, keeping his cortisol levels down. But his muscle tissue has come out of nowhere. And I really think that people who are sleeping on him are going to be in for a rude awakening because Ben Quill with a great back, he already is one of the best posers in the game. Him with a great back and a bigger chest, it might be hard for anyone to beat this guy. I know I say that, but he's already making the improvements and we see it.
Yeah, I 100% agree. I mean, the one thing that screams out with Ben Quill is just how aesthetic he is. He brings a completely different look. I mean, as you get, there's some guys in that top 10 that just bring the mass, whereas he brings the aesthetic. And like you said, his flow, his shape, just the way that he transitions, like the guy has mastered his craft. And I've heard him speak a couple of times, and the guy knows his shit. Like, he's passionate. Being a coach himself, he's got that eye. He knows the tweaks that need to be made. Like you said, if he brings up that chest, he brings up that chest, the back as well. I feel like he just needs a little bit more balance in that lower half. I think the legs are starting to probably lacking behind. But I feel like overall, like this guy has what it takes to, crack that top 10 again, maybe even crack, the higher ranks as well. And I feel like what happened to him last year, I mean, obviously the loss at Sasquatch to Jeremy. I mean, I know that was a bit of maybe a flame, a spark that lit that flame. And I know him falling out of the top 10 at the Olympia would have also frustrated him a little bit. But I know this guy is a fighter, he's a warrior, and he's going to be hungry to improve and show the world how good of an athlete he is in 8 weeks' time.
Hey, Phil, real quick, when you look at Ben Quill's abdominal area. Who does that remind you of? And where would you rank his abdominal area, his abs, his obliques in the game? The guys who are stepping on stage in the Arnold, where would you put?
I mean, he's sharp in the midsection. When we know how important that midsection is. I mean, the guy's got sharp obliques, he's got sharp core, he controls it really well. I mean, he's got Ali Bilal-like abs. They're just perfectly symmetrical. Sorry. If I'm talking, who else we got up there? We've got Ryan, we've got Ali. To compare it to to Ryan's abs. I mean, obviously Ryan's are a little bit. He's got that separation in the middle, but I think he's got similarities to Ali. If you were to ask me,
Yeah, it hits me a lot like Ali's from the bubbliness of the abs, and then the high striations going all the way up the sides on the obliques. That almost like winged feather look as the obliques go up into underneath the pec and into the anterior serratus and lats. Hart, what do you think when you look at his obliques and his abs for the Arnold Classic? Where do you think that he ranks with the guys specific in the Arnold?
Yeah, that's a great question. I'm thinking of that Vaughn. I'm thinking of Brandon Hendrickson. I love Ben Quill's core. I love the lines that Ben Quill's genetics have allowed him to fill out and build up. He's going to have, in my opinion, the top 3 obliques, abs, midsection, waist on that stage. And as far as his mentality, I know I've known Ben for a very long time. I've connected with him off the stage many, many times. That 12th place, dropping back from 9th to 12th, he's hurting. I mean, and when I say hurting, he's a grown man. He's not hurting, but that fired something up inside of him. And this is another guy. I know we just got off with Vitor. I think he could win the Arnold Classic. I would not put it out of the question. I would not put it out of the question that Ben Quill is a possibility when it comes to winning the 2026 Arnold Classic. All it takes is for B. Henny to be off, another guy who, I mean, Ed Vaughn maybe to be a little off. And if Ben Quill brings that money physique that he's done time and time again, I mean, how many pro shows has he won now? 7 pro shows. He's been Olympian consistently for the last 4 years. Like Phil said, he knows his shit inside and out, coached by one of the best coaches over Team Zero Gravity with Ryan Benson. This guy's a dog. This guy is an absolute dog. And if anyone wants to win the Arnold Classic and show everyone that 12th place was disrespectful to him, it's Ben Quill. What do you guys think?
Facts on facts. The other thing too about Ben Quill that I love is the dude is a constant student of the game. Like not only does he coach people, but he's also a student. So you can see him getting more information, always asking questions, always looking, always learning, and actually applying. And that's got a lot to do with his growth. His back, I remember his back was one of his Achilles heels. Now it's a strength of his. His chest, because he had this split in the middle of his chest, was his Achilles heel. He's filled that in recently. Like every time they throw something at him, Ben goes back to the lab, brews something up, comes back, and now it's enhanced, and that weakness becomes a strength. So I got to give him a lot of credit where credit is due. Plus, he tells it like it is, brother. He's seen me at the show. I remember we were at the Atlantic Pro. He had an athlete there. He came up to me. He said, Alim, I've seen you fuller than this. You need to go eat. Da-da-da-da-da. My coach was there, and he still told me to do that. I was like, you know what? You're damn straight right. I was thinking the same thing. And, bro, I went and won. So, kudos to Ben. Ben keeps it 100. Love the guy.
I love that. Ben Quill, we're rooting for you, brother. I honestly don't see Ben Quill getting outside of that top 3-4. This guy's going to be locked in. Let's go, boys. 8 weeks. Horde, I want to hear from you. Where do you have Ben Quill placing at the 2026 Arnold Classic Ohio? Please put it in the comments below. And before I go any further, Phil, you got something for us?
Yeah, right after you put that in the comment, guys, as I said earlier, we want the Horde community to continue to grow. We want 10K followers in the next couple of months, and the only way that will be possible is with your help. So if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to the channel, hit the bell icon as well so you're notified with every single upload that we drop. We've got so much in the works. We've got interviews. We've got off the stage. As the season starts to heat up, there's going to be more pre-shows and post-show reviews as well. So if you're a men's physique fan, if you're a coach, if you're an athlete, if you're just a lover of the sport, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell notification tab as well. And if you're on Spotify, make sure to follow us there as well. And while you're there, if you're enjoying the episode so far, take a screenshot, put it on your Instagram story, tag the Men's Physique Show, Alim Bolton, Hart McGrath, and Philip Naselli, and we'll upload that to our stories as well.
Hell yeah. Damn, you say that so good, Phil.
I know. That's why we hired him.
I want to
That's why
subscribe.
we pay
I'm
him.
already subscribed. I want to
That's why we
subscribe
pay
right
him.
now.
Alim, that's why we pay this guy $30K a month, man.
That's
Guys,
it.
Is it 30K a day? 30K a month now?
No,
Man,
mate, weekly. We got to bump it up. That's all I know.
we got to.
I'll be sending the contracts over.
Guys, let's get into the champ. I mean, if we talk about the Mr.
Woo!
Olympia 3-time champ, one of the GOATs of the division every video, I'm not going to be upset by this. Brandon Hendrickson blesses us literally almost every day with recent physique updates, recent workout clips, and let's play this. This is literally just hours ago. Brandon Hendrickson looks like he's doing a chest workout. Gaffa, I want to throw it to you. What is he doing correctly with this movement? How can the younger generation learn from this video with your commentary?
Well, a few things. One is, if you notice, let's start from the ground up. He's got his feet backwards, right? So that all the concentration is on his chest. A lot of times when people sit down and do a chest fly, they have their feet in front of them and they use their feet and their legs as leverage in order to try to bring the weight around, right? B. Henny has his legs behind him. It's all chest, nothing else. It's a total stretch. Look at that stretch. So he's stretching all the way back. And then you notice how he doesn't move his elbows at all. They're locked in. A lot of times there's a little bend. He has a little bend there. A lot of people can't see because his biceps are so big and his triceps are big, but he's got a little bend in the arm. And that's just all chest squeezing, totally coming together. He's not like, look at that. And then he holds. Then he holds it for just extra tension, because the way you grow is time over tension. So the tension over time is what starts to break the muscle down and create a reaction within your body to start growing. This is the technique that you absolutely want to use. And one last thing, you notice how his hands are right in line with his chest. They're not above his chest. They're not deep down and low on the handles. They're right in line with his chest, so that he's going with the flow of the muscle fibers, which go straight from your shoulders and that 90-degree almost like angle, and then coming right into the middle. So the dude is flawless. And then you saw him doing his pillow presses, the bay pillow exercise right after this. That's a great one. I want to talk about this one because I was blessed to learn this exercise years ago from Clarence McSpadden and Brandon Hendrickson. Those two were the only ones doing this. And what I love about it is, notice how his arm doesn't go all the way up. A lot of people do this exercise and they push their hand and their arm all the way up. That's not this exercise. It's a small movement where you're only going about maybe 15, 20% of the distance that your hand can actually go, because you want to keep the tension on the inner portion of your pectoral muscle. So just that line that goes right down in the middle, that's what you're concentrating on. And it's not a shoulder exercise. So you notice how he's angled pretty much to the side instead of like sitting almost flatter with his back against the bench. So that way the tension is not on the shoulders, it's on the pectoral muscle. And then he's holding down at the bottom with his other hand, with his offhand. That's just there as a stabilizer. Some people put it on their leg. Some people put it on the chest. You'll see him sometimes touch his chest and do that so you can get the mind-muscle connection. But again, this exercise, you should start off with like roughly 25 pounds and then move your way up. He's doing, what is that, 90 plus another. So he's doing 115. Like, that's some serious weight on an ISO press with that bench. But it's a phenomenal exercise. He's been doing it for a while, and it absolutely builds your chest up, especially that inner portion of the chest.
Beautiful.
I want to touch on that as well, because I'm not sure the order that this exercise is done in. It seems like he does this variation and then moves into the flat chest, the hammer strength flat chest press. It almost seems like he's using it as a pre-exhaustion technique, because as you can see, the weight isn't much different. So it seems like what he might be doing is pre-fatiguing the chest, so that when he does move into the heavier stuff, he's relying purely on the chest to be activated and to be working. As opposed to if he did this the other way around, it could be a case of maybe impacting a little bit of the shoulder. And it obviously he is, because he took the shirt off. So it almost seems like a really smart technique to help pre-fatigue the chest before hitting the bigger moves, and then forcing the chest to work a little bit harder, and end of the day, forcing it to grow a little bit more as well.
Well, Phil, if you notice Hart's workout with the chest machine the other day, you want to really activate. And if you boys didn't see that, you need to check out Hart and his technique because the boy was killing it. Let me just say that. You want to stimulate and wake up those nerve connections in the chest, right? So that you can maximize not only the mind muscle connection, but also the stretch and really get it activated. So you're 100% right. Like you can do that exercise either before or after, but it's for different purposes. If you're going to go heavy, like he's going right here and, start putting on some weight, obviously you want your chest to be activated, warmed up and ready to rock because you're going to be moving some serious weight. If you're in a rush and it's a lighter day for you, then you save it for the end of the day typically, and it's a finisher move. But I typically incorporate it, like you said earlier, after flies, I go right into bay pillows.
Love it.
Phil, you're an amazing coach yourself. You have a bunch of clients, fitness bodybuilders. I've heard some amazing reviews by them. You have the coach's eye, Phil. Do me a favor, like the Gaffa did. He broke down that first exercise. What do you like? What do you dislike about what Brandon's doing here?
Yeah, I like the way that he structured his workouts, because by the look of it, he starts with a isolation movement, which is a chest fly, which again was going to help activate the chest, really warm up the pecs, and really create that mind muscle connection. He then follows it on with the side chest. What are they called, Alim? The bay pillow presses.
Bay pillow presses, yeah.
Bay pillow presses. So yeah, that's another exercise that I believe could be either used as a builder or as a pre-fatigue. So I do like the fact that he's using a couple of different methods, a couple of different variations to go really get that chest primed and ready for these heavy presses. Based on this, upper chest is what he's working, and that's where a lot of athletes lack. They want to build that upper shaft. They've got the fullness down below, but a lot of them are lacking the upper chest. Purely, the reason for this is a lot of them use more of their delts to press the movement. So, and it seems like this is a part that that Brandon wants to improve on, which is why he's then followed it up with another incline press. Now, for me personally, I think this is it's a bit too high for my liking, because as you go higher on the bench, that's when more front delt starts to get activated. So I personally like it a little bit lower, but Brandon knows his body, and this is probably a variation that he prefers over the other sort of variation, a little bit lower. But what he's also doing now is he's incorporating a completely different muscle group, which is a bicep. Now, by this point, he's done some heavy lifts. His triceps may be fatigued. So instead of working on the triceps, which again are being activated throughout the rest of the workout, he's now working on a body part that's fresh, which is the bicep. So I really like the way that he's structured his workout program. It is very different to what a lot of people would expect. A lot of people would think if you're hitting chest, you got to hit shoulders, and you got to hit triceps, and then you got your back and your biceps. But to hit a body part that's still fresh, you're able to hit it a lot harder, execute your lifts a lot better as well, and get the full sort of benefits of the workout too. And that last photo, he got a nice pump out of the workout too. So yeah, Brandon knows what he's doing. He's a pro for a reason. He's a champion for a reason. He knows his body well enough, and he's under the guidance of the best coach, one of the best coaches in the world, Neil Yoda Hill. So the guy knows his stuff. He's working hard. He's putting in the work. He's going to bring the best package that we've seen to date in 8 weeks' time.
Shout out to Neil Yoda Hill, the coach of Brandon Hendrickson, Ryan Clark, Corey Morris, and Mike Sutherfield. Great coach. They call him Yoda for a reason. Love that guy.
Horde, we're 8 weeks out, and you're looking at a physique that looks like it could be 4 weeks out, if that.
Facts.
I mean, if Brandon doesn't, that's what he's known for. He's known for staying ready. And when I look at this physique update in the mirror, that front shot is dangerous, man. When I think about the best front shots in the league, I think about Brandon and I think about Ryan Terry, and they both do a different front shot. I love Brandon's one hand on the hip front shot and then Terry's Superman front shot. It's just beautiful to see, guys. I can't believe this is 8 weeks out, and this is how full and shredded Brandon already is. To your point, the Gaffa, him and the Yoda, what are they putting together? Like, come on,
bro.
boys.
Do you guys see how much more size Brandon has on?
He's huge,
at this point. He's biggest.
Huge.
Yo, he's crazy. He looks crazy. He's man. What are we gonna call him now? Stay ready. Is that his
ready,
name? Stay ready. Be Henny.
Stay ready. Be Henny.
I like Latina King. You know, in a few weeks, once he wins this Arnold, he's gonna have another baddie on his back, and I'm gonna be like, damn.
Keeps the baddies too. He keeps the Latina baddies, bro.
He keeps one on him.
He's like, what time is it? Oh, I think it's time for me to have a Latina baddie.
It's Latina time.
Yeah, it's Latina time. Right? Put the little salsa music on, right? Hey.
That'd be a great fucking shirt. Phil, I want you to break this down because I think you have a personal connection to this next segment of the video. The Horde, if you don't know, Philip Naselli lives in Australia, and frequently he goes down to Bali and has a great time and trains and lifts and works and just expresses himself in the beautiful ways. I get some wonderful videos. What is happening on this video, Phil? Break it down for me.
Is that Alessandro?
That's Alessandro Cavagnola.
Oh, shit.
This.
Yeah, well, I'll play it through. We'll watch it, and then I'll turn off the volume so you can talk.
Bro, I thought that was a kid in front of him. I thought that was a little kid in front of him.
Phil, what's happening in this video?
Man, this caught my eye as I was going through my Instagram stories this morning. Shout out to a good friend of mine, Rick, over there in Bali, one of the best videographers over there. And yeah, I was going through my stories and I came across this video and I'm like, who is that statue of David sitting on the back of that Gojek? For everyone, if you're unaware, if you've never been to Bali, Gojek is the one, it's almost like the Uber of the country. So they do deliveries, they deliver your food, they take you from place to place. It's the easiest way to get around Bali because of the traffic and whatnot. But when I saw this, I thought, my gosh, if Alessandro doesn't get off this thing, that poor Gojek driver is going to be doing monos down the street of Bali. But man, how funny is this? The guy's so down to earth. I think he ended up driving the scooter and had the driver on the back instead. I hope he got 50% off that drive, by the way, because hey, that guy did no work for that. But yeah, just look how big this guy is. This guy's massive. I think he's one of the biggest biggest competitors to jump on that Arnold Classic stage in 8 weeks' time. So yeah, this guy's just a mountain. He's a tower. I'm sure when he walks down the streets of Bali, like everyone's looking at him. He's probably the biggest guy that all these locals have ever seen. But yeah, it's a fun little side to Alessandro.
Man, people, you know what's so cool? Alessandro is such a chill dude. You could see his personality come out here, like how he's like, hey, we'll just solve the problem. Like it's no big deal, bro. I know I'm a big guy. No worries. Like I'll just flip my bag around so you can, get on the back of me and we'll just switch spots and I'm out, right? His mindset is just a champion warrior mindset. And I really like this guy. I mean, he's now part of the Horde. He's now part of the Brotherhood for sure.
Yes.
And he's such a great guy. Can't wait for people to see that interview. But wow, Alessandro, man, you're a big guy, man. I tell you, it's a good thing that most of the time these giants have really great hearts, because if this guy had a mean streak in him, oh my God, like he'd just stomp on people. He'd just step on you and you'd be done. So kudos to him, man. I love this guy.
That's Bali vibes if I've ever seen it. Like the air in Bali just does something to people where it's like, yeah, I mean, you can be the nicest guy in the world and all of a sudden how nice you are just gets amplified 100-fold. So yeah, love the fact that he's in Bali. I don't know how much longer he's there for, but I feel like the next couple of weeks he's going to slowly start to move his way to the US. But the guy's a traveler. The guy's ever at Dubai, Bali, Europe.
We love you, the dream. We love you, Alessandro. Guys, we got a little drama in the air, and the Men's Physique show is going to break some stuff down. I'm going to just give you the overall eagle eye look into what's going on. Then I'll have the Gaffa give his opinion on the story. And then I'm going to give Avomp his chance to give his opinion on the story. So, Absolute Aesthetics, an awesome board short company on the rise, caters to the men's physique division. Awesome shorts, awesome athletes. Looks like a really cool brand to partner with, to be a part of. Go check out their shorts. On the other hand, we have Manifest, who the Men's Physique show will be re-signing with in February. We love Dorian. We love Alex Toppin. We love how they've been treating us over the last 6 months. And the Men's Physique show and Manifest are officially together. And we're going to take the Men's Physique division to a whole nother universe. So here's the story. We got Absolute Aesthetics versus Manifest. And right now, I think Absolute Aesthetics is a little ruffled because Manifest recently came out with some really dope trading cards for their athletes. I didn't know this, Alim and Phil, but Absolute Aesthetics did this as well. And this story went up. I'm going to read the story and I want you guys to hear me out. And then Alim, give me your opinion, and Phil, you can follow after. This is from the brand itself, Absolute Aesthetics, and they say this is from a couple days ago. I took a screenshot. And again, we are unbiased in the situation to Horde. We're just giving you the news, and this is just a topic happening in the division. Absolute says, I want to clear, by the way, we got Drew Colin, who's an Absolute Aesthetic athlete, for an interview here in about a month. We can't wait to interview Drew. Anyways, Absolute says, I want to clear this up respectfully. This isn't comparable to gyms or equipment. There are thousands of gyms and hundreds of equipment manufacturers. In men's physique board shorts, there are very few brands, and even fewer that invest deeply into athlete support beyond just product, which I completely agree with. We introduced trading cards as a way to separate ourselves, highlight our athletes, and give back to both the athletes and the customers supporting them. It wasn't done for clout or novelty. It was part of building culture and community around the brand. Innovation is part of business, but when a space is this small and an idea is introduced specifically to differentiate and elevate athletes, it's fair to acknowledge where inspiration came from. That's all. Says we're focused on, let this play out so it goes away. We're focused on continuing to push forward, supporting our athletes and raising the standard, not tearing everyone down. Alex Toplin then responded with a story of his own. Alim, what do you think is going on here?
You know, it's interesting. When they say innovation, I understand where they're coming from first and foremost. You know, I understand when someone takes an idea from you, or at least you believe that's your perception. You know, you could take that energy and take it a couple of different ways. Here at the Men's Physique Show, there's some YouTubers and influencers who have taken some of the ideas that we do, but we look at it as collaboration. We look at it as, like, you know, imitation is one of the greatest forms of flattery. So we just take it and like it. We don't have a problem with it, personally speaking. However, they seem to be a little rattled. I know obviously trading cards have been around since the 1910 or something like that. So they didn't invent the trading card per se, but in the scope of which they're delivering the message, they're saying within men's physique. I don't know. Young LA had trading cards. I know that I think Dark Sports had trading cards before. I know the Olympia absolutely had trading cards before for the Olympia for the 50th anniversary. So did they get the idea from them? And they did give them out to men's physique athletes. So I don't know necessarily if they're the innovators of this. I think that, you know, they might have taken something that was already there and then just, you know, put their name on it, gave it to their athletes. And, you know, yes, it is a board short company, but I mean, it's just, to me, I wouldn't even have mentioned it, personally speaking, or even brought it up, because, you know, the way I look at it is it's a trading card, and trading cards have been around, and even the Olympia has given them to men's physique athletes before, gold ones, as a matter of fact. So, you know, I don't know. I think that I like Alex's approach right now. If he hasn't said anything, I wouldn't say anything, but every man is their own. And even though the Horde and all the fans out there listening, even though Manifest is one of our partners, that doesn't mean that we speak for them, or, you know, we have to agree with them. We're our own entity. We have our own brains. We have our own brand, and we love what they're doing and where they're trying to take the division, which is why we have a partnership. But I will say, you know, I hope that they just take that energy and focus it on something that's, you know, just continues to grow their brand and make them even more relevant in the space.
Alim, what do you, before I let Phil go, Phil, don't mean to hold off on you. Alim, what do you say to, you know, as if I'm Absolute Aesthetics, and do you think Manifest at least could have, if I'm playing the other side of this, look at me all newsy over here. If they were going to play the other side of it and say, you know, wouldn't it have been nice if Manifest at least said, like, hey, here's our trading cards, but these guys were the first ones to do it. Do you think Manifest owes them that at all? Anything? Is there anything that Manifest could have done just to say, hey, love what you guys are doing? Or what do you think?
I think you'd have to assume, I think there's an assumption that Manifest even knows that they did it. You know, and I don't know if, I didn't even know that they gave out trading cards. And, you know, we interviewed Ryan Clark. I didn't know that they did
I didn't
that.
either. I didn't either.
Right. So, I mean, how widely is it known, other than the athletes that you've done it for, And if the athletes haven't said anything about it and you haven't said anything about it, it's like, again, having the best physique in the world. But if no one ever sees it, how are you expecting to win the Olympia? You can't get credit. People don't know, right? So if they didn't release that, if they didn't, make that world known, which they obviously didn't, because we keep our fingers on the pulse and we didn't even know. Then no, I gotta say, I see the guys with Manifest, the 18 guys, and I know we'll get into that here in a second, but the 18 guys that have signed with Manifest, they show their trading cards. So there's actual footage of them showing it, but I haven't seen Aesthetics, their athletes show the trading cards. Maybe they did, but I must have missed it. It wasn't enough for it to catch my eye. Apologize about that, but you got to make yourself known if you want to get props,
Yeah. No, I agree. I mean, personally, I never knew that Absolute Aesthetics did the trading cards. Looking at the Ryan Clark one, I'm not sure when that card was actually given out. I mean, it doesn't. I'm not sure. It might not even be a recent one. So could have been a couple of years before they've actually come out and said, "Hey, we've done trading cards too." But then again, like to your point, Alim, it's almost like, where do you draw the line? Like I can see where Absolute Aesthetics is. No, I can see their point of view, because hey, they did have the cards. Manifest have come out, but if you look at all different sports, like if it's almost like Manifest, if they believe Manifest copied them, that means they may have copied the Olympia. Then the Olympia might have copied the NBA, and then the NBA might have copied. It's like, where do you draw the line? And then if you look at the NBA, it's like the NBA have multiple companies all producing basketball cards. So it's almost like you can't say that, hey, you've copied us. And I can get it from their perspective, because they're both board short companies, they're both competitors. I understand from that perspective. But to claim something as your own, even though there's a history of trading cards throughout the last 20 years, it's very, very hard to put that claim on you as being the innovators of it. But that being said, the fact that they're giving out trading cards as a whole is amazing. Is an amazing way to showcase your athletes. Is an amazing way to continue to promote the sport, because hey, I'm not sure if these guys are thinking of selling the cars down the track, and all of a sudden you got limited editions and whatnot. That could be an idea, and if whoever the first one is to drop that, I want credit for it, because it was my idea. But yeah, I mean, I can see the perspectives, but it is a very, very hard case.
And when they say not a lot of board short companies out there, I don't know. I think there are. I mean, just looking at the amount of board short companies that have approached us over the past couple of weeks, right?
Half a dozen, if not more.
More than that, right? And great, phenomenal companies out there, phenomenal board short companies. I mean, outside of Manifest, one that just jumps off my mind, off the tongue right away, is Hestia. Hestia has really funky, dope looking board shorts. I know Francisco Martinez had those green ones that I liked, and that was one of the first videos I did when we started the show, and it went pretty viral and everything. That, like, I like this. There's a lot of companies out there that are doing. Ali Bilal has board shorts. Like, there's a lot of companies that have board shorts that are out there, more than I think what we think. Alpha Elite has them. So Dark Sports, I mean, I could keep going on. Chula, like, and I'm just throwing stuff off the top of my head. So I think that there's a lot of companies that do different things for their athletes to try to make the athletes feel special, let them know that, like, this is a home for you. We're treating you as a human being, not as a number. And that, to me, is what I think is dope about their brand and what they did. The fact that they might have done it before Manifest just shows that they actually do care about the athletes. And, it's good to see that they're not the only ones, right? Like, every brand, that's the only reason why we take the partnerships that we do, is because they treat other customers, athletes, people in general, like human beings and not like a number. It's not transactional. So, yeah, kudos to them for doing it, period. Just for doing it.
I agree. Phil, Phil, you got something for me?
No, I was going to say, firstly, what's your view on it? We didn't hear your view.
Yeah, what's up with you, bro?
My view is perfectly aligned with the views of both of you. No, yeah, I think it's dope that they both have trading cards. If anything, this gets the younger generation more excited to get into men's physique, because now you get a trading card of yourself, which is super dope, whether it's from Manifest, if you get lucky enough to get sponsored by them, or Absolute Aesthetics, if you get sponsored by them. Multiple companies are just caring more and more about the athletes, and that's what I'm seeing, and that's just super, super dope. Phil, but I know you got something for me, brother.
Yeah, well, speaking of board shorts, probably a good opportunity to talk about our sponsors, the guys that are powering the show. We've got 5 now incredible sponsors. The first one being Manifest Board Shorts. You're seeing them pop up everywhere. Every stage around the world, there's people rocking the Manifest Board Shorts. We've seen them on the Olympia stage. We saw the amount of athletes that have recently been sponsored over the last 24 to 48 hours. Manifest are working with the best athletes in the world. And this is your opportunity to get the apparel, get the shorts that the best in the world are rocking on those stage to complement the physique that you present on stage. We know how much work you put into getting on stage. We know how much time, effort, sacrifice, how many hours you spend posing. The cherry on top is to have the best board shorts in the game. And that's where Manifest Board Shorts will complement your physique nicely. So for those ones, drop the code HEART to support the channel. The next brand is Physique. You see what we're doing on the show, off the stage. We dissect physiques. We make sure that we give them critique, feedback, and there's so many pros around the world doing the same. We know that there's athletes out there, whether you're amateurs or pros, who want to work with the best, work with the top Olympians, and the way to bridge that gap from the amateurs to the pros is via Physique. This is where you're able to connect with some of the best athletes in the world for posing, diet, training, nutrition, even physique critique, the blood work. A lot of people overlook blood work, especially if they're going down the enhanced route. You can now work with some of the best in the world to have that blood work reviewed. So that's Sai over there at Physique. He's doing an amazing.
Can I say something real quick?
Job.
Can I say? I don't mean to interrupt, but if you are looking for Phil Naselli and his coaching expertise, which he's a phenomenal coach, you can find him on Physique, and the Men's Physique show. The three of us collectively are also going to be doing something with Physique where we will be collectively looking at videos, athletes, amateurs who are coming in and looking for just some guidance and whatnot. So just want to put that out there because Phil, you're a hell of a coach, man, and people should definitely be on your roster. They should definitely try to get on board with you.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it. All right, we've got 2 more sponsors. We've got this. I say this every single week. The swaggiest doctor that there was. The swaggiest doctor on planet Earth. Dr. Campbell over there at the Center of Wellness and Pain Care. This guy does some amazing stuff. He does stem cell. Alim had some stem cell put in him. He's back in the gym the last couple of weeks. He's throwing those dumbbells around like no tomorrow. The guy is ready to get in shape. He's getting on this stage, on the 2026 Masters stage this year. We're looking forward to seeing what he does on that stage. But it was all thanks to Dr. Campbell and allowing him to get that procedure done and get him back at 100%. So that's Dr. Campbell over there at the Center of Wellness and Pain Care. And we've got 2 more. Damn, we've got so many sponsors now. All right, supplement sponsor. Huge supplements. Some of the best supplements in the game. That's what we're rocking over here at the Men's Physique Show. The protein powders, the pre-workouts, the liquid glycerol, the works. If you want to get in shape, if you want to feel your best, look your best, jump on, whether you're someone who's competing on a bodybuilding stage or just your everyday person wanting to feel and look better, huge supplements is the way to go. Heart at checkout for that one. And last but not least is our newest sponsor. We announced it last week, but it's none other than the guys over there at Kippy Skincare. These guys have some of the best skincare on the market. They've got a cleanser that Hart's been using every single day. Take a look at his skin. He's got some of the clearest skin on YouTube and Spotify at the moment. It's silky smooth. It's as soft as a bum. That's probably not the best analogy, but it's soft. It's soft like a baby's bum. It's as soft as a baby's bum. So if you're looking to update your skincare routine, I know, guys, we like to lack on the skincare. The females are always doing it, but it's 2026. It's time to look after yourself. Time to get some Kippy. Look after that skin. And that's all our sponsors.
Great job, man. Great job.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Okay, let's get back in the show, guys. We have few more topics that we're going to cover before we get out of here. This guy, we haven't talked about him yet. 4-time IFBB Pro Champ out of Brazil, Emanuel Costa. Wow. 8 weeks out. I'm looking for an update. Here we go. What's he say? This is a few weeks ago. This was before Christmas. That's not a recent update. So let's just break down his physique. One of the best backs and the craziest shapes that we're going to see. I'll pass it off to the Gaffa first. What do you guys think? Emanuel Costa, top 5, top 3? Is he winning this thing?
If we were just looking and we didn't know what we know and we were just looking at his physique, you would probably say absolutely. right? But unless he changes his posing, I don't see him cracking that top 3. He's got really, really good shoulder-to-shoulder width. He's got really wide, long clavicle. He's got a full chest, especially the lower portion and outer portion of his chest. Really bubbly up at the top. He's got nice abs. He's got a nice set of wheels on him, so he's not, he's balanced. But it's just, I think the way he walks, he's kind of got his shoulders hunched over a little bit, and he needs to bring his shoulders back. But a super wide, but like, look how wide this dude's back is. He's got one of the best backs for sure. It's dense. I just think that something about how he poses, he's got really long arms. And I think maybe because the arms are so long, he's got to do something a little bit with the posing to really set it off, because it's just that posing is not going to beat the likes of Brandon Hendrickson. It's not going to beat Andre Dayu. It's not going to beat Edvan Palmera. It's not on that elite level of polish. Maybe if he just hits it and sticks each pose. But as of right now, I think the guy is a phenomenal athlete. Obviously, he's really, really well balanced, but it's either the arms are just really long and he needs to adjust some posing to compensate. And I would also bring up that upper shelf too. Like he has a nice chest for sure, but again, the lower and outer portions of the chest are more developed than the upper portion of the chest. So there's a little bit of an imbalance there. I know, Hart, you're going to look at his calves and probably say he could have slightly better calves, but I think his calves are cool. But that's my humble opinion.
Yeah. No,
Phil, what do you think?
I agree. I think the posing, I think that front shot does him a little disservice. And I think it is what you're saying, Alim. I think it's how long his arms are in comparison to his torso. I think the one thing that he might need to try and do is put his hands on his hip to kind of make his arms look smaller, and then at least make it complement the body a little bit more. I agree again to your point. The thing that he's lacking from that front shot is that upper shelf. I think it does need a little bit more thickness in there. I, again, agree to your point where I think these calves need to come up a little bit as well. But, I mean, we saw what he was able to pull off at the Olympia. He's got a great physique. He was absolutely dialed. He came, and that's the thing. I know I say this all the time, but when you're showing up to the Olympia, you need to come in dialed. You need to come in absolutely dick skin shredded. Like, you need to come in looking 100%, because if you're not, you're going to get smoked, and not in a bad way, but the guys that are on your tail will have that 1% edge to kind of take one step over you and place higher. But yeah, I think the one thing that he might, I would try it if I was him. Hopefully he hears this and just maybe gives it a crack, that one hands on hip or the two hands on hip, because he does have a small waist from the front. I know he does angle the hip out a little bit, but yeah, there's no harm in trying, I suppose. But yeah, Hart, what do you reckon?
I think this guy's a freak, man. I think his lines, the little waist, the midsection, the symmetry, like Alim said, really bubbly throughout the shoulders and the chest. I think it just comes down to polishness for me with Emmanuel Costa. The back is like, he's gnarly in certain ways, and there's certain ways I just can't put my tongue on it. I feel like he needs to improve. Like Alim said, he looks amazing by himself. Like, how could you guys not see this guy winning multiple shows this year? The back is extremely freaky. He's extremely hard. He has that muscle maturity already. The back is going to be probably top 3 backs on that stage. I think it's going to be posing. I think it's going to be bringing up that upper shelf on the chest a little bit, and then just to see what he brings, man. I looking back to that Olympia posing routine, as you saw him get into that front pose, what I noticed was he didn't hold it for very long. Wait till he's in it. 1 potato, 2 potato, and he's kind of gone. Like you watch B. Henny, you watch some of the greats, you watch Terry, they sit in it. And they sit in it for a while because it looks really good. So I think just improving posing and continue doing what he's doing, because if this ain't a crazy Brazilian physique in the making, I don't know what is. We're 8 weeks out for Emanuel Costa.
I agree with you, Hart. You notice when he goes into that transition pose also, like that quasi Ventura pose that he does, and it's just like it doesn't have conviction. It's like, it's a step right there, but it's not really giving me like that.
Make it mean something.
On the stage. Yeah. It's just missing that conviction. It's missing the right angle, I think, but again, the guy, to all of our points, the guy has a great physique, which is why he's even at the Arnold. You're not getting to the Arnold unless you look great. And, we're interested to see what he brings. But I just don't see him as the in the top 3. I see him in top 10, but I don't see him in the top 3.
Emmanuel Costa, ladies and gentlemen, we're excited to see him on stage. Can't wait to meet him in person at the Arnold. And if his English is good enough, you can bet that he's going to be on the Men's Physique show for an interview. The last topic of the day, it only makes sense to really dig into a little bit more of the man who dropped this reel, when was this? A few years ago, and it absolutely blew up the internet and became viral. Emanual Hunter. I think, Alim, you say it all the time. Phil, I know you nod your head in agreement. If Brandon Hendrickson had this back with Brandon's front, who would beat him? Avon, I'm going to hand this off to you. What do you think of, let me ask you this, Avon. Obviously, Emmanuel has a chance to win the Arnold Classic. He's been 4th in the world. He's very comparable to Brandon Hendrickson, possibly with a better back, slightly weaker front. Do you see Emanual Hunter winning the Mr. Olympia one day?
I do. And I think it just goes down to what you just said. If he just improved that front shot, he's got the back. And the back is where a lot of people lack. Everyone's got a nice front shot, but it's what you show when you face the curtains is what will make or break you. So I could see Emanual Hunter winning the Olympia one day. Absolutely no doubt about it. As long as he, like I said, continues to improve that front shot, who knows? We could even see him take out this one. Like we always say, if Brandon's off, if Andre's off, if Edvan's off, this guy's coming in for war. I said this at one of our earlier episodes. This guy knows what it feels like to be top 4 and then push. Did he fall out of the top 10 at the Olympia? He fell out of the top 10 at the Olympia.
Sure.
So
he did.
So and that was that would have been a massive hit, a massive blow to him. Very similar to what we said about Ben Quill earlier in this episode. I believe it's re-sparked a flame. It's reignited a fire in him, and it'll reignite that dog-like sort of mentality. Say, I'm not doing that ever again. I don't want the judge to ever think that I'm a physique out of the top 10. So I feel like this guy's going to come in hot. This guy's going to come in with a mentality like no other. And like I said, he's got the headband on. He's coming for war.
Woo. Bro, when I look at his back, if I were to put together the perfect men's physique athlete, I'm taking his back right away and putting it on an athlete.
Yeah, I'll bet.
You know what I mean? Like that's how good it is. I go right to him. Like E-Banks is right there for me. There's a couple of guys who are like right there, but a couple of guys from out of Brazil, the whole nine. Like, but when I see Hunter's back, wow. Like, it's just crazy, man. The striations, the lines, the thickness, the width, everything about it, and the way he poses it is really, really premier. It's really top notch. He gives you the full depiction of the back like a movie screen and doesn't lean way, way, way back. Right? He's not bringing his lower torso all the way back towards the judges, so you only get to appreciate the upper rhomboids and the traps. Instead, he has it planted straight up like a movie screen, and you get to appreciate everything about the back. That's something that was an adjustment that Andre Dio did and has changed his entire trajectory, right? So kudos to Emanual Hunter. I can't wait to have him on the show. I know he's cooking up something really, really fierce. He said he's going to share some secrets with us and some stuff that he's got going on. So can't wait to see that. For me, the only thing with Emmanuel is he's got the arms, he's got the shoulders, he's got a nice bubbly chest, he's got the back. It's just that core. For me, it's the core and maybe the front pose, how he's posing is the key. Like if he can nail down the front shot and get that down, it's a wrap. And I know he's working on core because he told me personally some of the exercises, some of the things he's doing and how he's made a conscientious effort to hit abs and obliques every single day. So I know he's getting after it. I just want to see the 2.0 version of Emanual Hunter at this point because it's going to take a 2.0, 3.0 version to get back into that top 4. And it's going to take a 5.0 version probably to win the Olympia because, everybody's striated conditioned out the wazoo and they know they're balanced and they got the perfect tans, and the obliques and abs are just on a whole nother level. So, Wow. Look at his shoulders. Look at that guy's shoulders, bro. Crazy.
What do you think, Hart?
I like what you said, guys. I think a Emanual Hunter 2.0, if we see that on the Arnold Classic stage, He's battling Brandon, Andre Dayu, Ed Vaughn for the top spot. No doubt. I think he's about even with them. Honestly, a 2.0, 3.0 Emanual Hunter isn't getting outside of the top 3 at the Mr. Olympia. And we can't say this for every men's physique pro out there, that if you brought a 5.0 version of yourself, you'd win the Mr. Olympia one day. It's just not the truth. But for Emanual Hunter, it is. That was a great statement. This is a guy that has everything, every tool under the sun. It has been God given to him. If he makes these just minor adjustments, tiny little adjustments, I see no reason why he's outside of the top 3 at this year's Mr. Olympia and possibly winning the Arnold Classic. Thank you for that layup, dog. Ladies and gentlemen, that was show 6 of Off the Stage. I almost hit leave on myself. That was crazy. How you boys feeling, huh? How's the Horde feeling? Come on, let's go. That was fun.
This is over. The Horde, let's go.
A lot of fun.
I can't even believe we're done. I was like,
hours gone.
that quick? Jeez. We've been talking for an hour.
Over an hour. That's what we do, boys. That's what we do. We come on the show, we have fun, we chat it up, we chop things up. What? Pause. We're just loving what we're doing. We're just loving what we're doing. And I said it last week. I said it in last week's episodes. The Horde absolutely love what we're doing as well. We're seeing, we're feeling the love. We're seeing the support. We're seeing you guys comment and share and view and like. We see all that. None of all your comments and likes and shares never go unnoticed. We see every single one of them. We're coming back to every single one of them because we're a big community. We're a big family, and we are the Horde. We are the movement. So if you haven't already and you've made it to this part of the video, we are on a mission to get 10,000 subscribers in the next couple of months, and we need your help to do so. So if you haven't smashed that subscribe button, go ahead and do it. Tap the bell icon to be notified of every single episode that we drop. Reels, shorts, off the stage, interviews, mini clips, the works. We pump out 20 to 30 pieces of content on YouTube alone in a single week. And that's absolutely nothing. If you head to our Instagram page, there's even more there. So if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe, hit the bell icon, follow us on Spotify as well. If you want the audio version, it hits a little bit differently. If you're on the way to work, if you're on the train, public transport, or doing your cardio, whatever, listen to the audio version on Spotify. And while you're there, again, if you've made it to this part of the episode, take a screenshot of your phone, whether it's Spotify or YouTube, upload it to your Instagram story, tag the Men's Physique Show Official, Hart McGrath, Alim Bolton, and Philip Naselli, and we'll reshare that on our story as well. So thank you again, guys, for making it to the end of the video, and we'll see you in the next one.
Let's go.